Welcome to this breakdown of McDonald's most iconic burgers and sandwiches. From the simplest early hamburger to modern experimental creations like the McPlant, each item tells a small part of the story of how fast food has evolved over time. In this video, we'll walk through what makes each one different, not just in ingredients, but in purpose, flavor, and history. Hamburger. The original McDonald's burger is also the simplest. A small beef patty, ketchup, mustard, chopped onions, and pickles on a soft bun. It reflects the early fast food philosophy that shaped the company in the 1940s and 1950s. Food made quickly, cheaply, and consistently. Even now, the hamburger remains close to the original format used by the McDonald brothers before the company expanded across the world. Its plainness is part of its identity. Nothing competes for attention, and every ingredient is there for speed, balance, and familiarity. Cheeseburger. That one addition completely changes the texture and flavor. The cheese softens into the hot beef and creates the rich, salty taste most people now associate with classic fast food burgers. Over time, the cheeseburger became more popular than the plain hamburger in many countries, partly because it feels more complete while still remaining inexpensive and simple. Double cheeseburger. 2 beef patties and 2 slices of cheese make this one noticeably heavier than the standard cheeseburger. McDonald's introduced double patty burgers to satisfy customers who wanted something more filling without moving into premium territory. The extra meat changes the balance of the burger entirely. The onions, pickles, ketchup, and mustard become less dominant, while the beef and cheese take over as the main flavor. It sits somewhere between a budget burger and a larger flagship sandwich. McDouble. At first glance, the McDouble looks nearly identical to the double cheeseburger. The difference is small but intentional. Instead of 2 slices of cheese, it uses 1. McDonald's created it partly as a value item during a period when ingredient costs were rising. Reducing a single slice of cheese lowered costs while keeping the burger visually and structurally similar. Many customers barely notice the difference at first, but the flavor ends up slightly more meat-focused and less creamy. Big Mac. The Big Mac is probably the most recognizable burger McDonald's has ever made. Introduced in the late 1960s, it was designed to compete with larger restaurant burgers becoming popular in the United States at the time. Its structure is unusual. 2 patties, shredded lettuce, pickles, onions, cheese, and the company's famous special sauce, all separated by a third middle bun layer. That extra piece of bread gives the burger its towering shape and distinctive look. The sauce became central to the burger's identity, combining sweetness, acidity, and creaminess in a way that made the Big Mac feel different from everything else on the menu. Quarter pounder with cheese. Unlike the thinner patties used in most classic McDonald's burgers, the quarter pounder uses a larger piece of beef designed to feel closer to a traditional diner-style hamburger. Introduced in the 1970s, it appealed to customers who wanted a meatier texture and stronger beef flavor. The burger uses slivered onions instead of the smaller diced onions found on cheaper sandwiches, giving it a sharper bite. In recent years, McDonald's began cooking quarter pounder patties fresh instead of frozen in many locations, changing the texture and bringing it closer to restaurant-style fast food. Double quarter pounder with cheese. This burger pushes the quarter pounder concept to its limit. 2 large patties create one of the heaviest standard burgers on the menu. Because the beef portion is so large, the toppings become secondary. The cheese, onions, pickles, ketchup, and mustard mainly exist to support the meat rather than define the sandwich. It represents the American fast food trend toward larger portions that accelerated in the late 20th century, where size itself became part of the appeal. Filet-O-Fish. Although technically not a beef burger, the Filet-O-Fish has earned a permanent place among McDonald's core sandwiches. It was created in the early 1960s by a franchise owner in a heavily Catholic neighborhood, where many customers avoided meat on Fridays. The sandwich uses a breaded white fish fillet, tartar sauce, and half a slice of cheese. Even the smaller cheese portion was intentional, preventing the dairy flavor from overpowering the fish. Its survival over decades is unusual because seafood items often disappear quickly from fast food menus, Yet the filet-o-fish became a reliable staple worldwide. McChicken. The McChicken reflects the period when chicken sandwiches became increasingly popular in fast food during the 1980s. It uses a breaded chicken patty with lettuce and mayonnaise on a sesame bun. Compared to beef burgers, the flavor is softer and less salty, with more emphasis on texture from the crispy coating and shredded lettuce. Different countries eventually created regional versions, sometimes adding spice, different sauces, or local seasonings, but the basic structure stayed simple and recognizable: spicy McCrispy. This newer chicken sandwich represents McDonald's attempt to compete with modern fried chicken chains that focus on crunch and heat. The chicken fillet is thicker and crispier than older McDonald's chicken patties, and the spicy pepper sauce gives it a stronger flavor profile than traditional menu items. Its design reflects changing customer preferences, especially among younger audiences looking for more texture and spice in fast food. The sandwich also shows how McDonald's has gradually moved toward larger, more premium chicken products over time. McRib. The McRib is one of the strangest items McDonald's ever created. Made from formed pork shaped to resemble a rack of ribs, it is covered in barbecue sauce and served with onions and pickles on a long bun. Introduced in the early 1980s, it became famous partly because it repeatedly disappeared and returned for limited-time promotions. That cycle turned the sandwich into a kind of cultural event. People began tracking its availability each year, and the burger developed a reputation far larger than its ingredients alone would normally create. Big Tasty. The Big Tasty was created as a larger, more premium alternative to the Big Mac in many international markets. It usually includes a large beef patty, lettuce, tomato, onions, cheese, and a smoky sauce on a wider sesame bun. The sauce is what most clearly separates it from older McDonald's burgers. Instead of the tangy sweetness of Big Mac sauce, the Big Tasty leans toward a grilled, smoky flavor profile that became popular in fast food during the early 2000s. In some countries, it remains a seasonal favorite rather than a permanent menu item. McPlant. The McPlant represents McDonald's response to the growing demand for plant-based alternatives. Developed with Beyond Meat, it uses a meat-free patty designed to imitate the taste and texture of beef. The sandwich still follows the familiar fast food structure of cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise, allowing it to feel recognizable to longtime customers. Unlike earlier vegetarian fast food options that focused mainly on vegetables or beans, the McPlant tries to recreate the experience of eating a traditional burger as closely as possible, and that's how one simple idea, a patty between two buns, evolved into an entire system of flavors, strategies, and cultural icons. From the plain hamburger that started it all to the Big Mac, the McRib, and newer entries like the McPlant, each item tells the same story in a slightly different language, adapting to taste, trends, and time. What began as fast, consistent food for everyday customers slowly became a global menu shaped by decades of experimentation. If you enjoyed this breakdown, consider subscribing to the channel. New videos like this explore the hidden structure behind familiar things, from fast food menus to everyday objects you think you already understand. And if you want more deep dives like this, the next one is already on the way.